What's up guys, it's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm back at it again bringing you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. This time, we will dive into the ailments that plague a certain Space Marine army. So we all know that the Space Marines are near invincible, almost godlike beings, but they too have their flaws, especially the warriors of the Blood Angels chapter. So today I will go through the Red Thirst and the Black Rage. All Space Marines are a reflection of the greatness of their individual Primarchs, for they are the inheritors of their Gene Father's genetic legacy. Unknown to the Sons of Baal, there was a hidden flaw in their genetic matrix of the gene seed. Within Sanguinius' own biotype, there was a trait that lay buried, waiting to be awakened. During the Great Crusade, this strange affliction began to manifest, affecting some of the Blood Angels legionaries over the course of several decades. The story was always the same. A warrior of this legion would be in the throes of battle, and he would eventually succumb to a rage that continued to build and build until all his reason was lost. When a battle brother succumbed to this affliction, his humanity would be stripped away until only his feral core remained, and all the blood-crazed Astartes wanted to do was kill and kill, only sating himself with blood of his enemies. In the end, at the very worst of it, he lost every last piece of himself, until death was a kindness. Fortunately, only a handful of these Astartes have been afflicted over the course of 2 Terran centuries. Most would perish in battle without anyone taking note of their growing insanity. But if their degeneration became noticeable, then Sanguinius himself, or the Sanguinic Guard commander Askelion, would usually be the one to end the life of the afflicted battle brother. Yet in the closing days of the Great Crusade, the outbreaks of this affliction began to occur more and more often. Sanguinius feared that in time, this affliction would grow to encompass every member of his legion. Sanguinius had in fact been aware of this flaw for several years, keeping the truth from the Emperor and from his fellow Primarchs. He could not speak of this to any others, for doing so would diminish his legion in the eyes of his battle brothers in the Imperium. Some of his brother Primarchs would see it as a weakness and seek to turn this truth against him. Sanguinius was afraid to confide in his father, for the Emperor could not take the risk of being responsible for the erasure of the Blood Angels from Imperial history, just like the 2nd and the 11th Legions. Sanguinius searched for a solution, but he continued to fail in his endeavor. Some of the Angels' sons had learned a measure of the truth, but only Askelion, first captain of the Legion's master apothecaries on Baal, and a few others were fully aware of their extent of this affliction. They were united with Sanguinius in finding a way of repairing this flaw, but ultimately this quest proved futile, for the tragedy of the Horus Heresy swept away any and all concerns. From the day of their sanguination to their death on the battlefield, the Blood Angels and their successors fight not only with countless foes, but also with a burning urge inside them. This is the Red Thirst, the legacy of their Primarch Sanguinius, that plagues each and every Blood Angel with visions of death. In battle, Blood Angels can harness these visions to invoke a ferocity that gives the Blood Angels chapter its reputation for unparalleled brutal assaults. Sometimes, however, the Red Thirst is so overwhelming that the Blood Angels forget their noble heritage and completely lose control over themselves. It is not unheard of for Blood Angel squads to abandon advantaged positions to engage the enemy in hand-to-hand combat. More often than not, these assaults turn out to be so devastating that unprepared enemy forces are simply swept away. Unfortunately, this is not the only genetic flaw that inhibits the Blood Angels and their successor chapters. The other is a mental instability called the Black Rage, and it is a result of the psychic imprint left by their Primarch Sanguinius' death. This psychic pain can cause them to go insane prior to or during battle, and feel the rage of Sanguinius himself during the final days of the Battle of Terra. The condition is largely irrecoverable, and only a few Blood Angels have managed to defeat this gene curse. Victims are locked away in the Tower of Amaro, also called the Tower of the Lost, on the Blood Angel's homeworld of Baal. When a Space Marine is overcome by the Black Rage, he is reborn into a world of constant anger, hatred, fury, and nothing else. As well as Sanguinius' memories, the Blood Angels and their kin are genetically touched with a small portion of the Primarch's unearthly power, boosting their strength and vitality to superhuman levels. Rather than let them face a slow, insane death, Blood Angels and their successors will form those Battle Brothers who have newly succumbed to the Black Rage into a special unit of the chapter known as the Death Company. The Death Company wears specifically painted black power armor dabbed with red crosses to symbolize the wounds of Sanguinius, and they are often led into battle, notably by the chaplains, who are able to communicate orders to these insane troops. These warriors are sent out to perform the most dangerous of assaults, hoping for a quick and honorable death in combat. However, by some unknown's mean, the genetic flaw in the Blood Angel's gene seed that produces the Black Rage also seems capable of extending the victim's lifespan, at least until he finally succumbs to the rage. Throughout the years, there have been 2 warriors that have succumbed to the Black Rage, but also have been freed from this flaw. The first was Lord Mephiston. He was originally known as Calastaris, a Blood Angel's librarian of some considerable ability and strength of character. He was almost overcome by the curse of the Black Rage when he served as part of the relief force for Hades' Hive during the Second War for Armageddon. Here, he suffered for 7 days and nights, trapped in the rubble of a collapsed building. A vision of Sanguinius helped him fight off the effects. Then he was reborn as Mephiston, the Lord of Death, and when his full psychic potential unlocked, he quickly achieved the position of Chief Librarian for the Blood Angels. He is seen as the spiritual son of Sanguinius, a figure of hope to his chapter. He is now considered to be the most powerful librarian in the Adeptus Astartes, and possibly the most powerful psyker in the Imperium, after the Emperor of Mankind. The other Blood Angel who overcame the Black Rage was Sergeant Raffin. Sergeant Raffin was a battle brother who was later promoted to sergeant. He had to kill his brother Archeo, who was claiming to be Sanguinius reborn, but in reality he was being deceived by chaos, having been made through mutation into a likeness of Sanguinius. Raffin then had to succumb to the gene curse to unleash the power of the Holy Spear of Telesto, a weapon wielded by Sanguinius himself, in order to defeat Malefax, a Lord of Change, a greater demon of Zeech, who had deceived Archeo. However, he was eventually able to pull himself to the surface of his consciousness, and he also succeeded in helping Mephiston to defeat the Black Rage within himself a second time. Raffin was the protagonist of the Blood Angel series of novels by James Swallow, so I recommend you guys read that so you can catch up on all this awesome Blood Angel lore. Like I've said before, these traits have also been passed on to the Blood Angel successor chapters, such as the Flesh Terrors, the Blood Drinkers, and the Angels Sanguine. One successor chapter, though, the Lamenters, has managed by unknown means to eliminate these flaws, but they have been stricken by an extraordinarily bad luck in battle, and as such, they have almost been nearly annihilated countless times. And that brings us to the end of this depressingly sad video for any followers of the Blood Angels. Now, I used to play Blood Angels back in the day, and it sucks because your Primarch's dead, you've got the Red Thirst, and you've got the Black Rage. So it's like, not only are you down, but you're getting kicked on and stomped on while you're down. So, in honor of that, I need any guys who likes the Blood Angels, who play the Blood Angels, to write down hashtag Blood Angel Buddies so we can figure out how many guys we have that praise Sanguinius, Dante, and all things Blood Angels. Now guys, don't forget, we do have an art contest going on. So send me your submissions to our Facebook page so that we can get all these awesome, artworks, models and whatnot compiled into a video so you guys can choose the winner. I've been thinking, what can I get the winner? It has to be something good. So whoever wins, I'll contact you via message and we can pick out a gift, whether it be a Land Raider or a Start Collecting box, something pretty nice. So thank you guys for all the likes, all these subscriptions. Thank you for getting us to 40k subscribers. It means a lot for our channel. And here's for another 40k more in 2017. So as always guys, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, signing out for the last time in 2016.